You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Grant Dawson takes on Diego Ferreira on the UFC 311 undercard in the lightweight division. I think this is going to be a very fun, exciting back and forth fight at lightweight. Grant Dawson, primarily a grappler, known for his wrestling prowess, able to shoot takedowns all day, push a really high pace. We've seen that be very effective in his entire UFC tenure, other than his Bobby Green fight where he was knocked out in the first round. Diego Ferreira, been around for a long time, fought a lot of very high-level guys, has a lot of very good wins back in the day, 2019 and before, against some guys that I rate very highly that aren't around the scene anymore, so to speak. Mairbek Taisimov, Rustam Khabilov, Olivier Aubin Mercier. Had that fight with Dustin Poirier where he got knocked out, lost twice to Beneil Dariush, but I think Beneil Dariush, especially back then, was very good, very underrated. I think people are looking at this fight as grappler versus grappler, so to speak. Diego Ferreira, very high-level black belt, shown to have very good submission ability, very good defense throughout his career. Grant Dawson, more of a pressure fighter, gets his takedowns, wears on people, tends to get a lot of wins by decision. Will get the occasional TKO or rear naked choke, but really just looking to put a pace on somebody, kind of break him with his never-ending wrestling style, and just makes it really hard for people to get their game plan going when they're constantly being pushed against the fence. He will throw strikes as he set up his takedowns, so just makes it very hard for people to get comfortable and kind of get into their pace in fights. So like I said, very good when he's controlling the fight, able to land his takedowns and kind of just dictate where the fight goes. But the question is, what happens when he's shooting takedowns, potentially getting them, but can't maintain top control? And I think that's what's going to happen in this fight. I see him shooting takedowns against Diego Ferreira, and I see Diego Ferreira being able to scramble out, threaten with submissions, and get back up to his feet. Diego Ferreira has some of the best scrambles in the game, I would say, right now. We look at some of his past performances just recently against Mateusz Rebecki, Mateusz Gamrot, Gregor Gillespie. Those guys are known for their grappling ability and really just being able to manhandle guys at 55. And we saw in the Gregor Gillespie fight, that was one of the craziest back and forth fights we've seen. It seemed like Diego Ferreira didn't really have the gas. He had a great gas tank for, a round and a half, but especially at the pace that they were going, but it just didn't seem like he had the preparation to really get his gas tank to where we can see it. Same with the Mateusz Gamrot fight, was doing really well defending those takedowns, landing better strikes on the feet before I think he broke his rib in the second round in that one. And then Mateusz Rebecki, we don't see anybody handling Rebecki like that. He's usually just a buzzsaw, crazy power on the feet, knocks people down or gets them to the ground, submits them. And we saw Diego Ferreira, take everything that he could throw and eat it and dig deep and turn the tables on Rebecki and ended up TKOing him on the ground. So I think that Diego Ferreira is going to have the ability to defend the takedowns, or when it does go to the ground, he's going to be able to, threaten with submissions. He's going to be able to scramble back up to his feet. He never accepts bottom position. You'll see guys in MMA, as soon as they feel like they're probably not going to get up or they're not going to be able to defend this takedown, they'll look to conserve energy. They'll look to kind of just accept position and look to get their back up to the fence and eventually get back up. Not Diego Ferreira. I think he's going to be able to push a pace, the same pace as Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson is he's used to people acquiescing to these takedowns and him, okay, I get the takedown, I'm going to take a breather, I'm going to be able to smother this guy for the rest of the round. But when you have somebody like Diego Ferreira, he will not stay on the ground, even though he's a crazy submission threat off of his back or anywhere on the ground. He knows he's got the cardio, he knows he's got the striking to scramble back up to his feet. And when you're still trying to get your breath back from the grappling that you just did, he's putting punches on you already. We saw that a lot in his last few fights. Saw that against Mateusz Gamrot, where he's back up to his feet, he's coming at you, he's in your face. One of the big things in this fight is I feel like Grant Dawson is a wrestler and Diego Ferreira is a fighter. I feel like Diego Ferreira has that natural finishing ability He's looking to hurt you. He's looking to get you out of there. Whereas Grant Dawson, he's looking to kind of get his takedowns and control the fight, and he's fine with kind of just getting a decision by way of just being a superior wrestler. Whereas Diego Ferreira, he can finish you anyway from Sunday. I mean, he's got a knockout over Michael Johnson, who's, you know, he stood up with Mike. He shot a few takedowns, wasn't getting them, ended up finishing him on the feet with an overhand right. Obviously has the submission ability. Ground and pound wins, like I said, over Hibeki, choked out Anthony Pettis. I just think he's the complete package. It's unfortunate that he's, 39 years old. Took a little break there in 2021 after his Gamrot loss. Came back, looked like, reinvigorated. Don't know how much longer he has in the sport just because of his age, but I mean, at this rate, it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. Comes from a great camp. Has Saif Saud in his corners as head coach at Fortress MMA. 5'9", 74-inch reach over Grant Dawson. I think he's 5'10". I think he's got a 72-inch reach. So he's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage over Grant Dawson. He's going to be the better striker. He's going to have the better submissions. May not be the better pure wrestler, but I feel like in terms of MMA wrestling and scrambling and staying out of damage and being able to get back up to his feet, I think that he's better. And I think he's got more tools and more ways to win this fight. I think he's a big underdog. Plus 240 for Diego Ferreira. And minus 300 for Grant Dawson. I get it. Grant Dawson's been pretty dominant, but who's he been dominant against? Rafa Garcia, Joe Selecki, who we just saw get beat up on last fight, got knocked out by Bobby Green. Damir Ismagulov won a decision, who's a really good wrestler. Mark Madsen, Jared Gordon, Ricky Glenn. You're going to a majority decision over old man Ricky Glenn. Leonardo Santos was getting beat up before you came back and won that fight with 1 second left in the round. Like, I don't see dominant wins. I don't see top tier names on this guy's resume like I do Diego Ferreira. Yeah, he's got some losses. He's lost to Beneil Dariush. He lost to Gregor. He's lost to some guys that are good. Gregor Gillespie, he disappeared off the scene 5 years ago. That guy was top level, 14-1, amazing wrestler. The only loss was to Kevin Lee. Mateusz Gamrot, we know how good he is. Beneil Dariush fighting on the same card. Lost to Dustin Poirier. These are guys that are in the top 5 and are gonna be in the top 5 for a long time, or at least top 10. So I think Diego Ferreira is being underestimated in this one. He's had a full camp. I think he's known about this fight for at least 2 months, so he's been preparing. He's not taking it on short notice. Last time he fought was in May. Again with a win over a dangerous guy in Hibeki. So kind of off of 2 finishes over some good guys, got tons of momentum. I just think this is a recipe for success for Diego Ferreira, and I think he's going to we're going to see what Grant Dawson's made of, because he's not going to be able to hold for Ferreira on the ground for 3 rounds. And I think because of that, knowing the tenacity and toughness that Diego Ferreira has, the chin, just the desire to win, and just the gas tank on the guy and the skill set, I just think that he takes this one. I think he probably finishes. I think he can finish Grant Dawson. I think he can keep it on the feet. I think he can tire Grant Dawson out, and I think he can expose his stand-up game on the feet. So I'm gonna go with Diego Ferreira by knockout. If he doesn't get the knockout, I could see him hurting Grant Dawson and getting the sub. So let me know what you guys think in this one. Big underdog, but been calling a lot of good underdogs lately. Thanks, guys.